Isn't everything just kind of weird?
That's true.
This has been a weird week in general.
How so?
I mean, how shall I count the ways? um, ever had one of those weeks where like everything goes wrong and it's always your fault?
No.
I recommend not having one of those weeks. Unfortunately, that's a lot of what my week was.
Presumably, one would have to care enough for them to consider it was their fault.
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
Oh, we're dropping out already.
I can hear you. Maybe I'm just not sitting close enough or something. Can you hear me? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So maybe I was just not close enough. I mean, it's not like I have any lack of reach with my microphone. Yeah. So, what were you saying that I didn't quite make out?
I don't know.
You know, I usually wait until a little bit later to ask this question, but it's probably worth asking right now. What are you doing right now that is not this?
What do you mean?
I
Why
mean,
would you assume that I'm doing
because
something
you're
other than not
always this has been a regular topic of conversation that you divide your attentions, and people like me who just talk too much anyway just kind of cover that up and people don't notice unless we address it. So we're addressing it right now. What is it exactly that you are currently multi-engaged with?
I just downloaded FreeCAD because AutoCAD is expensive, and I'm trying to figure out how to do stuff on it.
Are you going to build me some armor masters for when I get a 3D printer?
Currently, no, because I can't figure this stupid thing out.
Okay. When you figure things out, are you going to build me some armor masters when I get a 3D printer? I'll print something for you. That sounded a lot creepier than I intended it to be.
Oh.
There's some other stuff I want to print on there too, but I think I'm going to get in trouble.
There's got to be a way to sketch.
Yeah, I got nothing for you.
Me either.
I am dramatically unhelpful.
Usually, yes.
Oh my. So, some interesting stuff. Interesting trailers dropped this week.
Trailers.
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 I know, but interesting things. Number one, some early sneak peeks at the Monster Hunter movie came out, and I'm very
Monster Hunter movie.
Monster Hunter movie. You didn't know about this?
Nope.
Yes, the Monster Hunter movie is coming, and it is probably going to be absolutely terrible. But I'm still going to watch it because I love Monster Hunter. And I'm hoping that if we watch the bad ones, they'll eventually make a good one, right? That's how that.
That's probably not how that works.
You know, I mean, it has Tony Jaa in it. How bad can it be?
I don't know who that is.
He's like a Muay Thai master kind of movie star. He's legitimately knows his martial arts, and he's playing some sort of bow hunter. Of course, it's done by Paul W.S. Anderson, so Mila Jovovich is in it as the main character. And she's like some sort of like dimension hopping marine or something. And she just flops down in the middle of Monster Hunter World. And yeah, that's going to go really well. I'm sure. But fun times. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm not so I have to talk about this because I mean it's movies. It's kind of my thing. I'm also kind of a Christmas guy. Have you heard of a
Christmas movie.
I think it is my opinion that Die Hard is the best Christmas movie of all time. Mostly just to be controversial. I think I may now have a contender for the new best Christmas movie of all time, and it's coming out this year. And I am so, like, everything that I love about this movie is the wrong thing to love about a movie. Like, absolutely everything about it is wrong, and I am so excited for it. I just saw the trailer, and I'm like, oh, I have to see this. So, Mel Gibson plays, like, the most depressed Santa Claus ever, who a kid, after receiving coal for Christmas one year, hires Walton Goggins, who was the kind of like mob guy from Ant-Man and the Wasp, the one who gets stuck with the truth serum. And he's from a bunch of other things, but that would be the movie that you probably know him at all from. Did you see Hateful Eight?
No.
Okay. You should see Hateful Eight. He's in that movie too. He's fantastic. Did you see the TV series Justified?
No.
Okay. I keep trying. Someday I will find a movie that you have seen Walton Goggins in. Anyway, so he's in this movie as the hitman hired to go kill Santa. And so it is a action shoot 'em up with the premise that some kid hired a guy to go kill Santa. I don't know what it is about this, but something about it just makes me happy. And again, for all the wrong reasons. Oh, man. You know what that's like, right?
Watching a movie for all the wrong reasons?
And being happy about it before it comes out.
No.
No?
Because I don't watch trailers.
Well, this is not even so much about trailers. It's like, so let's say that they actually make a full-on D&D movie. You don't watch the trailer, but it's a D&D movie. And it's like it's gonna go into Baldur's Gate or whatever. I don't know. I know nothing about D&D, except I play it sometimes. I know.
I don't think they could ever make a movie about D&D. It just wouldn't make sense. Technically, all movies are about D&D.
Technically, you may have a good point. But that notwithstanding, yeah, I think it's going to be just. What gives you joy, Masters? What makes you happy?
Oh, I have a list.
Well, if you have a
I'll have
little,
to go find it. I recently sent it all to Brokebutt because she asked me the same thing.
Okay. I need to talk to Ducky too before Tuesday, and Foxy. I tried to get Foxy to friend me, and he hasn't done it.
Let's see here. Let's see. Off the top of my head, the color orange makes me happy.
Okay.
Being cold makes me happy.
Okay.
Sleep makes me happy.
We are on a wavelength right now.
Disney makes me happy.
Still on the wavelength.
Driving makes me happy.
I have been very disappointed this year. I haven't had a long car trip. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know, right? Watching or binge watching TV shows makes me happy.
Might have lost me there, but okay. It depends on the TV show. It's like it has to be like one that of course I'll only ever watch it once. So
I only have 3 TV shows that I binge watch, unless it's if it's a new show, I'll binge watch it as much as I can to get all the way through it.
Right.
But there are 3 TV shows that I binge watch when I don't have anything else to watch.
Yeah.
And that is Friends.
Mm-hmm.
I binge watched it, I want to say like 13 times last year. I've only watched it once this year because I've been watching Critical Role.
Right about here is where Johnny Depp pops up in full Jack Sparrow garb and says, "You need to get yourself a girl, mate."
That 70s show, I watched it about 5 times last year. I haven't watched it yet this year because I no longer have Netflix, which doesn't matter because it's not on Netflix anymore. And I haven't bought it yet. I already bought Friends, so screw you, Netflix. Um, and then I'm currently watching Stargate SG-1 for like the 100th time. I actually own the box set,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a pain in the butt to use the box set. I was working on digitizing it, but it's just as hard to digitize than it is to watch.
Yes.
You have to put the disc in, do the thing, take the disc out.
Julie, do the thing! Oh, sorry.
Yes, it's a pain in the butt. I need a Julie to do the thing. But it's on Amazon Prime right now.
I go back to my initial statement. Or my Jack Sparrow terrible impression. You need to get yourself a girl, mate. That's how that works.
So yeah. So lots of things make me happy.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Speaking of TV shows, Disney has released on Disney Plus. They're releasing every Friday. It just started releasing 3 weeks ago now.
Mm-hmm.
On the 25th of September, they started releasing these, and it is behind the scenes look at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And they take you behind the scenes with the different animals and the caretakers that take care of them, and they just take you through, some time with that animal and their caretakers.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched the first 2 episodes. The 3rd episode came out yesterday. I haven't had a chance. Well, I've had chances to watch it. I just haven't watched it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But they're really fascinating. I binge watched all of the One Days at Disney shorts, which just goes into the life of one day of one of their team members at Disney, just what one of their typical days is like, and that was really fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually also binge watched a 3-episode docuseries called The Greeks, which goes into the history of Greek society from the time that they first started cultivating before they were even known as Greeks to the time that they not really ended, because we still do a lot of the things that the Greeks did today.
Yeah.
So the Greek society never really ended. It just kind of blended in with everybody else.
You have no idea how true and how frustrating that statement is.
Why is it frustrating?
Theology.
And what specifically about it?
Have you ever heard the term Gnosticism before?
Yes. A few seconds ago when you said it.
Okay. Gnosticism is a pseudo-Christian ideology which has its foundational roots in Greek theology, wherein they believe that God, whoever he is according to them, is too holy and pure and powerful a being to actually be able to come to Earth. And if he were to come to Earth, he would immediately destroy it. So it would be impossible for him to come. And so Gnosticism worked its way into Christian circles because of a egregious lack of understanding of the Old Testament and the idea of the theophany, or the appearance of God on Earth before Jesus Christ. And so when they read the Bible, they're just like, oh, well, clearly God can't ever come to Earth, so Jesus must not have been God. And then they started to attack the deity of Jesus Christ, and parts of that are still very, very prevalent in a lot of church culture today. Yeah, it's fun. It's very frustrating, especially when my pastor's doing a series on church history, which I've heard from him and a couple other people before. And it's eye-opening every time I hear it. And then it gets really funny, and then it gets really frustrating, because when you start talking about stuff like that and going into depth on it and detail, some weird things happened that are just completely glossed over, forgotten. We hope nobody reads this part. Despite the fact that we wrote it down. Like, we wrote this down, please nobody come back and read this kind of thing. Yeah, it's fun. I
I
have
also
problems.
watched a movie called Mr. Holland's Opus,
Heard
which
of
is a
it?
movie I had seen before, but I had forgot that I had seen it, and so I watched it again, and it's just as good as I remembered it. After I remembered that I had the ability to remember it, such a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's about a music teacher that re- reluctantly becomes a music teacher so that he has free time to work on his symphony.
Right.
Not understanding teachers, obviously,
Right.
um, because the teacher and free time are words that can't enter a sentence together. Uh, and so I watched it, and he eventually falls in love with becoming a teacher. So, yeah.
Very good.
But it's a really good movie. And then I watched a new Disney Channel original movie, which I thought was going to be a series, and I'm very upset that it's not. It still has the potential to be a series, but it is not a series yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it may be. But it's called The Secret Society of Second Born Royals, and
Okay.
it is a movie that says that all second born royals are born with a superpower that manifests around their 18th birthday.
Okay.
And so the firstborn goes, on to be the ruler of the kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
and then the secondborns, who are thought to be, uh, the second fiddle and whatnot, actually have these superpowers, and they have a society where they use these superpowers to help protect the kingdoms.
Right.
And it was a really cool concept when I watched the snippets of it that I did before it came out. Actually, I don't even think I watched snippets of it. I think I just read the synopsis and was like, "Yes, please." And so I watched it. Saddened that it wasn't a series, but it was a pretty dang good movie. It's a Disney movie. You can pretty much see what's going to happen from the start,
Mm-hmm.
but there are a couple of twists that I thought I had it pegged,
Yep.
because they do things to make you think you have it pegged, and then they completely turn it on you. Um, but if I'm sure you would be able to notice it right away. Um,
I am
but
frustrating like that.
yes, you are. I still enjoyed it and look forward to a possible series about these second born royals. I think that would be fun.
That's a cool idea. Um, Especially when you start thinking about the propensity for royal trysts and all the weird people who just pop up out of the woodwork and you're the illegitimate heir of so and so, aren't you? Why, yes, I
Hey,
am.
stop reading the synopsis of this movie.
I didn't read the synopsis of the movie. That's just how these things go. Oh, oh man.
Yes, gotten a lot of viewership in this week.
I got practically none in. I am actually 3 days behind on my YouTube subscriptions, which I am never 3 days behind on my YouTube subscriptions. It's just been that kind of week, and I'm still averaging like 4 hours of sleep per night. Last night I actually got 6. I like almost died. It was amazing. Um, yeah, it's fun.
Also, I got my commission back this week.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you've seen it. What do you think?
I think it looks nothing like you. um,
It does not look anything like me, but it encompasses everything that I wanted it to.
um, can I
It wasn't supposed to be a self portrait.
can I post it in the
Absolutely.
okay, good. We're gonna post it in the
I'll
world.
post it.
Okay, that
It'll be
works.
quicker if I post it,
Probably. Well, yeah, probably. Um,
because I already have it downloaded.
I was just copy pasting from the Discord chat, but sure.
Oh, that works too. Uh, but yes, uh, we went through a couple of revisions on the beard was a lot more tame when he sent it to me the first time, or actually when he was working on it the first time. Um, and I was like, no, he's supposed to be mad and crazy. Let's do this upright. And then the hat took a little bit of working,
Mm-hmm.
because he originally had the bill of the hat very very straight,
Yeah.
like almost cardboard straight.
Uh-huh.
And I worked with him a little bit on trying to get that.
Well, it has better
Um,
movement in this. It looks like you're it's actually the hat is actually has weight to it. I like that.
yes, yes. Who knows? There might be something inside. Um,
And like,
like talent.
well, if you have talent in your hat, you better pull it out quick. I'm just
I can't. It's a picture. It doesn't. I'm reaching and reaching, but nothing ever comes out. Um,
Oh man.
and then I had him do a Cheshire like cat
Mm-hmm.
on my shoulder.
Props on
Well, I
it.
told him to put it somewhere, and he put it on my shoulder and asked me if that was okay, and I was like, yeah,
I
totally
say
okay.
props on it being an orange tabby. Orange tabbies are special.
Yes, absolutely. He originally sent it to me in the colors of the Cheshire Cat from Disney,
Mm-hmm.
which is not the colors of the original, by the way. The colors of the original are a tabby.
Yeah. Have you seen
And so
Friendly's cat?
I think I have, yeah. I
I,
think I've seen pictures of that.
I might throw a picture of that somewhere in there too. Because Friendly's cat's awesome. She's so cute.
But yeah, so I had him change that color, and then originally he had the suit, um, a mauve color, and the patches were very very muted.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent you a picture of that, and that just wasn't sitting right with me. I was like, I don't. It's like that's what it is. It's the colors, but what do I change them to? And so I played with a color wheel, for like an hour, and
Right.
finally came up with these colors or close enough to them. And he took them and made it like this. And when I saw it, I was like, "Yep, that's it. That's what it's supposed to look like."
Lots of orange.
It's not really orange. It's more of a tan gold.
It's orange. Just own it, man.
Oh,
It's not like you're gonna get any orange haters in this conversation.
yeah. Ducky and Brokebutt already accused me of wearing the same shirt every day.
I was there
Because
for that.
I have a I have a week's worth of orange shirts. They are different orange shirts. If you line them up side by side, they're not even the same color orange or the same design shirt.
You know, there's
But because they're all orange.
I was gonna say if you were just gonna say that they're not the same color, I was gonna make the argument that was just different levels of wear. But we're like you've just worn one more than the others, so it's like been through the wash more times or something. Just faded a little bit.
Seeing as how 99% of all of my clothes are thrift store clothes,
Uh-huh.
they're all very various shades of the original color. Yes.
Yeah. I've
Um,
I have issues with thrift store clothes. They're such a great idea. I wish I could. I'm shaped weird. I've discovered this. Um, my for being as tall as I am, I kind of have these like stubby little legs, and it's kind of a problem because I'm about right size for the rest of me, but I mean, my short little legs are just like we can't do this, and I can't find it like just really weird sizes. And then I keep, gaining and dropping 40 pounds in a year, so that doesn't help maintaining a serviceable wardrobe. Thankfully, I've lost weight since I moved out. That's good. Did I lose you to some sort of adventure again?
oh, yes. Sorry. I thought I had figured out this thing, but I haven't. And it's. Ooh. Ooh. No, I lost it again. Okay. I'm just going to close it and give up.
Typically they just have like a paintbrush or something somewhere.
Yeah, you would think. I don't know. I'll look up YouTube tutorials on it eventually.
I mean,
Maybe.
I wouldn't really know anything about that because I haven't really done any kind of graphic design or nothing like that because I have no talent for art.
I took a class in it. Um, in college, my fourth year in college.
Mm-hmm.
When I started at my school to get my bachelor's.
Right.
That's the but yeah, that was a long time ago.
That would almost be really funny if Masters had a master.
If Masters had a Masters,
Masters have a Masters?
no, Masters has gone to school long enough to have a Masters, but Masters is dumb.
Yeah.
By dumb, I mean Masters is really bad at American school.
Yeah, I it's not that I'm bad at school, I just don't like it.
Yeah, I'm done with it
Like,
forever. So
we had these like high school interns who would come in and get like work experience at the law firm, and they, hang around people long enough to start asking questions. And so this one of these kids asked me like, "So, what kind of college should I go to?" And I'm like, "You really shouldn't ask me that question." He's like, "Why not?" And I'm like, "Because I'm going to get in trouble if I answer you." What do you mean? And like at this point, my boss is looking at me and she's like, "Don't say it." We've had that conversation. and and he's like, "No, no, no, I want to know." I'm like, "I don't really think you should go to college." And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Get out." Just get out. And I'm like, "I'm just answering his question. It's not my fault." That's a whole other can of worms we don't need to get into. Maybe,
yeah.
or at least not right now. We could do that later on when we've actually run out of content. Oh, look what time it is now. Oh man, it has been a week
Yeah.
though.
Until schools change how they school, I will not be going back to school.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues. I generally think we do it. I mean, here we are. We're talking about it now. Darn it, Masters, you couldn't have just let it go. I was trying to change the subject, and here we are. We're back on it because you just couldn't let it go for one. You had to have one more comment. Bang! Here we go. So basically, yeah, I mean, I understand the idea.
Basically, yeah.
I understand the idea that kids probably don't know what they want to do by the time they're 18, but I think we're doing them a great disservice by not providing them sufficient opportunities to figure out what they want to do by the time they're 18. I mean,
Yes.
I think if we would do that, it would greatly serve them considerably better than our current system of just being like, "Oh, well, you'll figure it out, right?"
You'll figure it out after you've spent, tens of thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars. You'll figure it out by the time you. It's like, no, you should go into college knowing what you want to do. You shouldn't. College is not a place to figure it out.
Yeah, I think most if we cut out some of like the crap courses that aren't actually going to be useful in life, because
Yes.
I mean we could make life so much easier for so many people. But guess what we're not doing? Oh, this is going to be really dangerous. I just discovered that my chair lays back. Oh,
We have enough audio issues. We don't need you to be doing.
Oh no. Like I said, I have full range of motion with my microphone here, so I just might do this entire podcast in the prone position because I haven't been laying down enough. If I start snoring, you know why. But yeah, like I know in times past, and we don't want to be like the people of the past, but they seem to live a lot happier lives for some reason. Can't imagine how that could have possibly been the case, especially not without air conditioning. But fans that. Some of them did it without bacon. But I want to go on a rabbit trail. I'm already on one, so let's not divert again.
Pull the lever, Crunk.
Wrong lever. So
No, you had it right the first time.
So anyway, it used to be in times past that like kids would just kind of do what their parents did, and like there would be occasional people who would divert from that. I think that that is not necessarily the best model, but at least to give the kids a rough idea of the options available to them. Um, Especially nowadays where you have kids who are spending, 8 to 10 to 12, whatever years it is, in secondary school, graduating, haha, with, anywhere from 15 to 100 and 300, 400,000. The highest I've heard so far is someone graduated with their master's degree with $600,000 of school debt.
Oh, I've heard, not firsthand, but I've heard somebody over $1 million
And I'm like,
debt.
there's a
They were a
great
doctor.
there's a great rule that I've heard for that. If you cannot make enough money in the first year of your chosen profession to offset or to match the total amount that you're going to spend on the education, it's probably not worth it. That, I think, is a great rule of thumb. It's like, okay, I'm going to, in 8 years, accrue $120,000 worth of debt to get a job that in my first year will pay me $15,000. Oh, Lord.
I ain't going to college if it's only going to pay me $15,000.
I know, but our colleges are full of them. They're just busting out at the seams. That's why the price of college has gotten so expensive. Oh, I am gonna be very controversial here. Here we go, burning the whole thing down. If the United States government would get out of the business of funding colleges, I think our entire society would be dramatically improved in general, across the board. Stop subsidizing student loans, stop giving government grants, stop doing the whole thing. Let colleges that are going to be worth it prove themselves worthy of our money. This will reduce the glut of people signing up for useless classes that do nothing, for degrees that won't pay anyone any money, that will just put more people on the public dole. Just let the colleges prove their own worth through their curriculum. Stop trying to subsidize a generation who are too stupid to make it in life on a standard high school education, which is the whole point of a high school education in the first place, so that you are sufficient enough to make it without college or anything extra. That's supposed to be the idea. If we've so screwed up our education system at this point that the high school education is insufficient, then we need to fix that and stop spending the money on other institutions that are incapable of providing the necessary skills in the first place. I feel better.
Do you know?
I mean, that's probably going to get us kicked off YouTube, right? I'm trying at this. I'm trying at this point. Oh. But yeah, it's just like, why are my tax dollars going to institutions that I disagree with, pay for people to go to these institutions to learn stuff that's not useful, so that in another 10 years they can be, I'm bankrupt because I didn't pay off my student loans because I got a job that only pays $15,000 a year and I can't. Like, well, what did you expect? Look it up. I love it so much. One of a guy I respect more than most. He was going into college because that was what he was told to do. And his whole thought process involved in figuring out what his degree was going to be in was he talked to the guy at the locker next to him and he says, hey, what are you going to go to college for? He says, I'm going to be an electrical engineer. He says, well, why are you going to be an electrical engineer? He says, it's because it's the highest pay, it's the second highest paying 4-year degree that you can get. He says, okay, that makes sense. Out of curiosity, what's the highest paying 4-year degree that you can get? He said, well, that's nuclear engineering. But if you make a mistake as a nuclear engineer, you blow up the world. If you make a mistake as an electrical engineer, you blow up a light bulb. I'm a lot more okay with that. That was the end of his decision-making process. He's like, I'm doing this for money. If I've got, yeah, that's the whole point of the workforce. I don't know how we've missed that point. The whole point of working is to make money. Is that a controversial statement at this point? Master,
Probably.
like, why? How are we missing this point? Like, hey, do you like stuff? Do you? I mean, this is. I know I'm a Christian, and I'm about to be going very materialistic on this, but holy crap, people! First of all, as a Christian, pay your tithe. We'll work on everything else after that. Right now, if you're a Christian, pay your tithe. Everything else, hey, do you guys like stuff? You like your iPhones? You like your $15,000 Apple monitor stands? Or not 15,000, 1,500. My mistake. Misplaced a zero. Give them a year, they'll misplace it too. Like, how do you expect to pay for all this stuff if you aren't making any money? It's just unbelievable. I'm just so done with people. I talked with somebody earlier last month, and they were trying to tell me that they were trying to convince me that everything was just hunky dory and beautiful and nothing's going wrong, and that if ever anything, we were talking a little bit about the unrest and things going on, and so I was like, yeah, well, it may come to a point where we don't have, we're starting to have to like kind of forage for food kind of thing. There's already a bunch of meat shortages and things going on. And like, oh, no, that'll never be a problem. And I'm like,
oh, yeah, you'll just go to the store. You told.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, yeah, you just go to the store. And I'm like, how does it get to the store? What do you mean, how did it get to the store? It does, we don't have Star Trek replicators yet. That's not how this works. That's not how this works at all. we got issues here. And we're not, it just boggles my mind that people just assume that everything that is right now is the way that things have always or will always be, or that's the way that they've always been. And the blindness of people is just unbelievable. I guess that's how we end up having a movie about Santa Claus where he tries to kill Walton Goggins. Or is it the other way around? Oh,
I don't know. You're the one with the movie.
I know. I am so excited about that movie. Like, it just looks like the most cynical, unhappy Santa Claus movie of all time, and I am so on board for it, and I really shouldn't be. But we'll chalk it up to Schadenfreude, because I'm just incredibly happy about this. I mean, number one, Mel Gibson. He used to be a really good actor. I mean, I think he still has a couple of good roles left in him. I'm hoping that this is one. Walton Goggins is an underrated actor. He needs to be in so much more, and just let run wild. I wish he would pick up like a DC villain spot, like a full on DC villain. I would love to see. I would love to hear. Okay. I would love to see him play Joker. I want a Walton Goggins Joker, and I know we already have a really good Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, which is fantastic. But Walton Goggins, I think Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is amazing.
I haven't seen the movie.
You should keep having this discussion where you keep needing to watch movies. Work on one of them eventually.
I prefer TV shows.
I know, but I can't help that. Yeah, Walton Goggins just has this maniacal energy. Wait, did you ever see Shanghai Noon? Jackie Chan, Owen Wilson. Jackie Chan plays like a royal Chinese imperial guard who comes to the United States to provide ransom money for like a captured princess, and along the way he meets Royal Bannon, played by Owen Wilson, who gets kicked out of his gang because this crazy Texan takes over and buries both of them up to their necks in dirt.
You're speaking gibberish.
Just have no sense of adventure for. Anyway, Walton Goggins is the crazy Texan who takes over the gang. Uh, um, you're really killing me here with not getting my references. I need D-Mill in here to go reference.
D-Mill.
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh. Why can't life just be simple, Masters?
Life is
What's that?
life is never simple.
There we go. Enunciate. Enunciation only hurts you as a NASCAR driver.
Enunciation only hurts me. What?
Enunciation only hurts you if you're a NASCAR driver. It's a Jeff Foxworthy joke. An old Jeff Foxworthy joke. Actually, I think at this point they're all old Jeff Foxworthy jokes because I don't think he's done a comedy set in like 15 years. Not that he's had to.
He too is old. So
yeah,
he was old when he was making those comedies.
He was in his 60s. Now he's got to be getting close to 70s, something like that. Oh well, it is what it is. Time goes on. I get older. We all get older.
Yes, you are old. We've been over.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty okay with it. Because it means I get to do a bunch of stuff that I couldn't do when I was younger because people looked at me weird. Now they're just like, he's what was the terminology that was used? So I spent like the most of the afternoon with my pastor. We went and shot guns and then we had a very awkward conversation. Awkward conversation. I have a number of people who are trying to hook me up with girls at this point, and I'm like, okay.
I told you, friendlies apparently got some that would.
Yeah.
After that performance.
That's a whole other story right there. I was just having fun.
Oh.
And then it was entirely too much fun.
Did you look at the comments they were saying during the song?
Yeah. And he sent them to me directly.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, at first I didn't know if they were, because I was listening to the reactions and I'm like, I don't know if these people are really enjoying this or what's going on, if they just think it's funny. And then like and then he actually sent me the yeah. I wasn't there. I was at a
yes, I know.
Yeah, so that's a whole other story. But yeah, I currently have 3 people who I know IRL who are all trying to hook me up with different girls. And they all have.
I'm not one of them anymore.
I know. Yeah. How do I say this? I both appreciate and am frustrated by your efforts. Which is kind of the general mentality about the whole thing.
Why? Because I found you the near perfect girl.
If I am still really enjoying this, and I don't. If Brokebutt, if you're here, if you listen to this, I admit it right now that I'm telling very bad jokes about you, and I apologize. But they don't know you, so it doesn't matter. I may stop if you ask me. Possibly, probably not, because it's really funny to me. So I've been telling everybody that, girl, near perfect. She's a gun enthusiast. How could I possibly ask for anything better than that? Sent her my picture. The very same night, we decided just not going to work out. Let people draw their own conclusions.
Oh, it's funny every time I hear it.
And I'm maintaining
self-deprecating jokes.
I'm maintaining that. Well, I mean, that's all I really have at this point. Like some of my best jokes on, like, pretty much my only jokes on Twitter have been self-deprecating at this point. But by the way, don't follow my Twitter. If you are not following my Twitter, don't follow the Twitter. It's not good. It's gone totally political at this point.
It really has. That's all you tweet about anymore.
I don't want to, but it's just okay. Nope, I take it back. I tweeted out session 8 of Friendly's spooks, um, uh, and I tweeted out the trailer for Fat Man, um, yeah, but pretty much the whole rest of the thing is political. Um, Although I did earlier today, I did respond with the 4 actors that people have told me I look like. So it's not 100%. It's like 99%. Um,
Hmm. 4 actors we look like. I've heard the one that you told me that I can never remember the name of. I've gotten Zach Galifianakis a few times.
I told
Those are
you.
the only two I can think of.
I told you Vincent D'Onofrio, but
Sure, we'll
but
go with that.
but exclusively in his role in the Magnificent Seven remake. The rest of the time, not so much. Did you see the Netflix Daredevil series?
No. Yes. I don't know why I said no. I'm
So
used to saying no when you ask me things like that.
so the guy who plays Kingpin is
I
Vincent
don't think I made
D'Onofrio.
it that far.
Did you ever watch Law and Order: Criminal Intent?
No, I don't watch Law and Order.
Did you ever watch the original Men in Black?
Yes.
He's the Bug. But as he
Really?
got older, you look a lot more like him. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna darn it, now I have to sit up and look for the stupid picture so I can show people what I'm talking about. Oh, I was really enjoying being lazy, Masters.
That should be a lesson to you.
What? Don't be lazy?
No, that's what? No, that's a terrible thing to take away from what I just said.
I thought so too. That's why I was questioning it. That didn't seem like you at all.
Don't put words in my mouth.
All right. Oh, that's a perfect picture right there. Here we are. Vincent D'Onofrio. Couldn't be like, tell me that's not you.
That's not me.
I mean, yeah, but still. It's close enough.
Actually, in that picture, it does kind of
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
At least what I may look like in another 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm. As long as you don't shave off your beard again and look like a weirdo.
Never going to do that again.
That's a smart idea.
Ever.
Like you went totally opposite the rest of the world on that one. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's lockdown. Everyone should start growing a beard." You're like, "Hey, let's shave my beard off." That sounds like a great idea.
Well, I did it for a reason, and I'm glad I did it because I wanted to do a progression photo shoot of how long it took me to grow a proper beard.
Yes.
And that came out fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
I have stopped taking photos because it got annoying.
Yes.
But yeah, I have a nice 30 days or so, more than 30 days actually, of beard growing greatness.
There we go. That's the real picture I was looking for right there. Oh, push the wrong button. All right. Drop that in there. No, I don't want to save the picture. I just want to copy it. All right.
Yes, I love that we can just copy the URL for a picture and stick it into Discord now instead of having to save it to our computers.
Yes.
That has saved me so much time and effort.
And space in my hard drive.
Yeah, I'm not worried about space.
Always worried about space. I'm a penny pincher about everything, even space on my computer. Especially space on my computer. Well, maybe not especially. Of course, I say that, and I started this whole weird conversation by saying I went shooting with my pastor, which basically means every time I pulled the trigger, it was 40 cents down range. But that's neither here nor there. Oh, I had so much fun today. And apparently, Brokebutt hasn't quite figured out yet that we don't actually broadcast this live. Thank you, Sass. Well, not posthumously, because that would be dead. But thank you for, in the past, for clarifying to her exactly what's going on. Kind of. Maybe. I don't know. I saw, I was talking about jokes I make on Twitter. I saw one post a couple days ago. Something to the effect of, if you don't do this, then you're just going to die old and lonely. And I'm like, but how is that different from me right now?
It's impossible for me to die old and lonely. Because I'm never lonely. I will die old. I'm already old, though. So.
Fair enough. Oh, there's a picture of a mask. So the picture of the mask is just ordered my new face mask. It could really help with social distancing. The comment on it was also, you will never get a date with another human being. My response was, I'm not seeing how that is in any way a departure from my current state of being. So apparently I need this mask, right?
What mask? Bad Gavi. Jack Black posted a picture not too long ago. No, was it Jack Black? No, I think it was Gabriel Iglesias.
Okay.
He posted today a picture of his new mask. Yeah, it was definitely Gabriel Iglesias. And it's a luchador mask. Except like it looks like a luchador mask that just covers his nose and mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mouth hole and the eye holes are obviously not open. And the only thing I could think of was, how could somebody totally nail one style of mask while totally rejecting the other?
Right.
I mean, it's probably the most perfect mask I've seen. And now that I've talked about it, I've got to post it. So give me a second to find it.
I mean, honestly, at this point, is there any reason why people, in accordance with, or trying to live within accordance of mask wearing mandates, whatever it is, why we can't just start wearing like stormtrooper helmets? Is there any reason why we can't start doing this? Like, legitimately.
Yes.
Why? What does the stormtrooper helmet not do? That little piece of cloth.
Allow people to see your face.
I mean, people have been knocking over convenience stores with surgical.
Let me have this.
People have been knocking over convenience stores with just surgical masks for months, years, just using surgical masks, assuming it's enough. Okay, that's not bad. I went to a graduation party. We're still having graduation parties. It's October. I don't care if you graduated. Your chance was 6 months ago. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, so I went to this graduation party. I don't know why I'm so salty tonight, but here we are. So, oh no, we can't have another salt cast. Gotta turn that around quick. Anyway.
Turn it off. Whatever it is, turn it off.
Anyway, so I went to this graduation party, and there's this guy walks up, and he's wearing this Joker mask, and I'm like, oh, I would never be allowed to wear that. And he's like, why? And I'm like, oh, there's a reason for it. I just can't imagine what it would be. Yeah, it's just bad times. But that would be fun. Walk around with Joker mask. One of these days, I'm gonna get thrown out of someplace. Yep. That seems
apparently. Bergbutt still doesn't understand because she's asking me if it's live. She DM'd me.
Yeah, it's not live. I'm gonna take a picture of the or a screen grab of the recording thing, and maybe she'll figure that out. Uh-oh, no, I can't, wait. Darn it, now it's on the recording, and I'm not editing this out. So,
What?
well, now it seems like I'm being petty about this, because if I
You
said,
are, though.
I know, but yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, I'll do it here. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do. I'm a professional corrector. Yeah. It's what I do. I correct I correct things which are incorrect. I got nothing. I have problems. Oh.
um.
Yes.
Okay. I was Twitter cropped this photo very, very strangely.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And I was very, very confused about it. And then I read the caption and I was a little bit more confused about it. And then I actually clicked on the picture to be less confused about it. And so now I've got to screenshot this, and then I can uh, um, post it.
Okay.
So this is what picture. This is what Twitter showed me. Confused me a whole heck of a lot. And then this is when you click on the picture. Makes a lot more sense with the full context of the picture.
I say the original context looks very wrong.
Yep. Yep. Sure does. And I was like, that's Casey Neistat, though.
Wow.
Um,
just
way,
wow.
way to go, Twitter.
Yeah, like, okay, odd cropping aside. Oh man, there are so many things wrong with this picture. Oh man. Okay. I'm just gonna say mention the title again. This looked like it may have been a cuties moment. Gonna drop it right there. Because wow. That's yeah.
So yeah, I think this area is now ready for concrete.
Hi.
Um, so where am I getting?
What?
Discord was telling me I had notifications and I didn't have any notifications. I
Oh, that happens a lot. We're like, well, see, the thing is, so I have Twitter on my phone and my computer and, well, all the computers that I use. And so you have to clear notifications independently on everything that you're logged in on. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. Please don't make me do that. And then they make me do that. And I'm like, oh, that's just wonderful. Just absolutely wonderful.
Thank you for being annoying.
Mm-hmm. Are you one of those people who just has issues with notifications? Lord.
Yes, I have to get rid of notifications as soon as they pop up.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Masters. I don't think
yep.
I don't think I can post this in the other one. But that's a thing. That probably shouldn't be a thing, but it is a thing.
I'm not gonna watch it.
You're not gonna watch it. Why not?
No,
No.
because I can already see where it's going. No pun intended.
Mentos, man. Just Mentos. um. Anyway, I like the fact that we can have this very open and honest discussion that our viewers have no idea what we're talking about, and it probably frustrates them to no end. But World's Worst Podcast, people,
they're the ones that listen to us.
Yeah, you get what you pay for, and you ain't paying nothing. Oh man. Anyway, getting back to the point I was trying to make a half an hour ago. I had this very awkward conversation with my pastor as he was trying to set me up with this girl. And like I said, there are a number of people right now who are trying to set me up with different girls. And I'm kind of... all of them have issues. Like the one my pastor's trying to set me up with. Age is just a number, right? Well, not if you want to have, children. And she's kind of getting to the point where it's on the not so high probability kind of spectrum. She's considerably...
That's fake news.
No, that's biology.
No, it's fake news.
Please explain.
Well, I don't know the exact numbers, but the fact or the study that says that a woman's likelihood is reduced by 50% or whatever it is after a certain age is only like going from a 60% probability of having kids to down to like a 58% chance of probability. The half that they're referring to is from 4% down to 2%.
Okay. That's not
I don't know the exact numbers. Those are just random numbers I threw out there to make the point.
Those aren't the only numbers that I'm concerned about. The numbers of birth defects and like serious complications in pregnancy also dramatically increases with age. More so than...
dramatically is over dramatic.
No, it... All right, we're going to find the numbers. Defects with age. There we go. Let's find the numbers. Yeah. Here's okay, it goes up and then it comes back down. So that's helpful. From the age of 35 to 45, it jumps straight up. And then this is okay, so first we post that picture and now we're posting this one. Okay. This is going to be a weird one for the folks in the interaction channel. Here we go. So after age 35, according to the little chart that is available there, it jumps up dramatically and then peaks at 45 and then drops back down at 50.
Yes, it peaks dramatically going from almost 0% up to almost or a little over 3%. That is not dramatic. That is a less than 3% difference.
Okay, well, if you open the thing, decreased. So decreased fertility, not really a big issue. Since we were on the topic of Jeff Foxworthy jokes that are old, his mentality: if you're going to be a failure at something, this is about as fun a thing as you could possibly be a failure at. Yes, that happened. All right, so from age 30 to 35, it increases from 959 from 1 in 959 cases to 1 in 338 cases. That is that's twice as many cases. And then it triples that new number by going to 1 in 84 by age 40, and then 1 in 32 having it again by age 45. Now, I understand everyone's different, but simple fact of the matter is 1 in 32 are not really good odds in terms of trying to, yes, kids can be born with birth defects and everything else, and they are fantastic and they can be loved and everything else, but trying to provide, I overplan things to the extent where I want to give my kid the best possible shot from the earliest possible onset. Does that make sense?
So you say you don't have kids, not really.
Well, unfairly as it may be, through biology, those same birth defect numbers don't really apply to guys. Unfairly, as it were. I mean, really, Masters, if I'm just gonna be straight and honest, this is all I really want. This right here. This is almost perfect. Practically perfect. Wow, no reaction whatsoever. You must be dug into whatever it is.
Nope, I'm just looking at the picture.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, trying to get back on topic here.
You have a topic?
I've been trying to. It hasn't been going particularly well, but I've been trying. So my pastor was talking about this idea that you are allowed so many weirdness points. Yeah, so like whatever kind of person you are to be involved in a particular thing, you are allowed like X number of weirdness points. If you exceed that, you're kind of like cut out. And he did apply this primarily to spouse finding. He knew a guy several years ago who came to him and was like, "Hey, I would like to get a girlfriend. I don't know how. Can you help me?" And my pastor looked at him and he says, "Well, I have 2 suggestions for you right off the bat." And he says, "Oh, great. What's that?" He said, "First of all, you need to stop wearing the 1.5 foot tall beaver hat everywhere you go."
I need a picture of this hat.
I mean, you practically already have one. It's basically exactly the one that you're showing.
Huh?
Basically the same one that's in your new profile picture. Imagine that, but without the patches and the size tag on it. It's just this gigantic beaver hat that he had, and he wore everywhere. Beaver. Yeah, it's like a Abraham Lincoln hat. That's what they're called. They're called the beaver hat. Didn't know this?
No.
Oh. Oh. Are you thinking like a coonskin cap or something like that?
This is not what I was thinking, but oh crap! It won't let me post that picture.
So this is what it was. This basically something like this, gigantic beaver hat. He says, "You got."
I wasn't picturing this, but this is what came up.
Okay, that's not it.
Except I was picturing basically a beaver sitting on his head,
which is fair. I can understand exactly why you would think that. Because, I mean, we have the concept of the coonskin cap from Davy Crockett and all that, but not really what's going on here. Um, yeah.
You have ruined my day.
So he wore one of these everywhere he went, all the time, was never without it. And so he says, suggestion number 1, you need to lose the beaver hat.
No, that guy would be my best friend. If I saw a guy wearing that hat, I would be like, hey, we need to hang out more.
Understandable, but do you want to climb in bed with the man?
No, I'm not gay.
So clearly,
I have questions.
This is not what was going to accomplish his goals. You hanging around with him was not going to get him to what he was looking for. Wow, it's a night, isn't it? So there was that. And there was a couple other things. Like he was like, I forget what it was. There was like some fringe nerd thing that he was into, like obsessively so, that he not only wore this beaver hat everywhere, he always wore a t-shirt advertising that particular bit of nerd fandom all the time. And as you can imagine, that was like my pastor was just like, you can pick one, you can't have both, and you should probably buy legitimate shoes that are not only flip-flops.
Okay, now there's where I have to draw the line. I'm not on board with your pastor anymore. He's not cool with me anymore.
Well, it's like you can wear only.
This guy is obviously just shopping in the wrong department. He just needs to find the right store to shop in.
Well, here's the thing. He's also in Michigan, and like if you wear flip-flops in Michigan in January, people start to question your cognitive ability. Rightfully so.
I would definitely wear flip-flops in January.
Well, then we would rightfully question your cognitive ability. Questioning is not doubting, we're just questioning. It's not saying you don't have it. We would just like some evidence to prove it elsewhere. Otherwise, because flip-flops in January in Michigan is generally considered to be a very bad idea because some of us like our toes. Some of us. Some people are just really weirded out by feet. That's a thing. Even their own. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you see the commission I had done. He's got flip-flops on.
I understand, and I knew exactly who I was saying this.
The first person I showed that to went, wearing flip-flops with a full suit. I'm questioning your judgment. Mm-hmm. I said, hey, I've done it. It was actually Bramble that said it.
Yep. Fair.
Were you there for that?
No, but you told me.
No, because it was Thursday. It was Thursday night.
You were telling.
It wasn't Sunday.
You were telling me that you were when you told Scubas that you wanted that to be that's what you wanted him to wear. He was like, really? That's it? That's your big thing you want to have? Okay. Also, I just realized the last podcast you were a little bit quiet and I didn't turn you up. So I'm turning you up a little bit. Hopefully that's a couple of people's ears out now that we're an hour and a half into this thing. I guess we'll find out. Can you say something, Masters, that's intentional? What?
I was about to say something, Masters, but you kept going, so I was waiting to hear the full sentence you wanted me to say.
I don't know. I was trying to come up with something, and nothing intelligent was coming out of my mouth, so I just decided to give up. Especially when I heard that you were about to say something, and I was hoping that you were going to say something intelligent.
I never say anything intelligent.
Well, it was worth a shot. You mean, even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm just gonna throw this into the chat just to mess with people. Just to mess with the people who are in the chat right now. Yep. And the people who are listening in and not part of the chat, you should join the Discord so that you can also find out what that was. Because I think that's just amazing for all the wrong reasons again. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
Why? I got no answers for this, and yeah. Fun.
That's one word for it. So, I have decided
Yes.
that I'm going to buy another trumpet.
I'm intrigued.
As I would like to play trumpet. I think it will bring much joy to my life.
Are you still in? Are you still in an apartment?
Yes.
Will you be moving into an apartment?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is why I am also going to be buying a trumpet mute microphone.
Uh-huh.
It'll cost more than the trumpet I'm going to buy.
Uh-huh.
But the sound coming out of it is minimal.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I can get the full sound of it into my headphones or computer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm just laughing because my downstairs neighbor's got a dog and I can hear it about 4 hours a day, every day. It's like a little puppy, and so it just cries and wails for hours on end, which is just wonderful. As I'm sure you can well imagine.
I'm not a dog.
I'm okay with dogs. I'm not. I much prefer cats. They're just they suit me better. I'm also not a really big fan of like. So have you ever walked a dog, Masters?
Huh?
Have you ever walked a dog?
Have I ever walked a dog?
Yeah.
No, because we have lots and lots of room for them to run around.
Yeah.
Here.
Have you ever had to clean up after a dog immediately after it did its?
Nope. We also don't do that here in Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Well, here in Michigan, kind of expected. And I have I had some neighbors who were like, "Hey, could you watch our dogs?" Sure. Make sure you walk them. Okay. And what are these bags for? Oh, that's to pick up what they leave. I'm like, I should not have agreed to this. You guys are nice folks, but I'm not good with that. Because you can't like let it like age and come back to it later like a cat. Like if the dog poops on somebody else's lawn, it's kind of expected that you're not going to just leave it there. And that's not cool with me because you know a thin veneer of plastic is not sufficient distance between me and what comes out of a dog. I'm sorry, it's just not enough distance. Like cats, you got like a scooper, you got a thing you can get some distance between you there. You can disinfect it before and after. You can make it clean. Dog, like you understand the consistency, warmth, the moisture content. Just not great. Not a fan. Not at all. And I don't understand why that is just joyous to some people.
Joyous? Who do you know that calls that joyous?
You know, I don't necessarily know anyone that calls it joyous, but apparently it must be. Otherwise, they would have figured it out and stopped owning dogs a long time ago. Because, in my opinion, if you keep the problem around, you're going to keep having the problem. I don't feel like this should be a controversial statement. Quite the opposite, in fact. I think that this is just kind of common sense. Like, you want to get rid of that, or just to not have to touch poop again. Anyway, this is not at all where I was trying to get this conversation, so we're going to try this again. Bring it back around. 5th time's the charm, is this? I don't know. As you can tell me how many times it's been since I've tried to talk about this. So, weirdness points. my pastor was asking me about like what my weirdest points are, and I'm like, well, I have a lot. He says, oh, what are your weirdest points? Because he's trying to vet me for this girl that he has high opinions of.
Mm-hmm.
I need to ask this question more, people who are trying to connect me with some girl. You know me, and you know her. What is it about her that you don't like that you are trying to stick her with me? Because I mean, I know me pretty well, and that's not something that you do to someone who you are kindly affectionate towards. I'm pretty. My Twitter bio.
What did she do wrong?
What? Yeah. Did she show up to like drunk to a funeral for some family member that you have? Tip over the casket like that? Okay, I can understand that. Yeah, that's an introduce her to Gavi moment. Yeah, definitely. That's when you go, this one's broken. We're just gonna try and minimize damage. Gavi, we need you in here. Dive on this grenade. And I'm like, I don't even know if I can do that one. Anyway, I now by my Twitter bio, I am probably the worst person ever. But be that as it may.
Worst person ever, host of the world's worst podcast.
You'd think that we would come up with this this name a lot faster, since that's my Twitter. That is literally my Twitter bio.
Mm-hmm. We're not the fastest on the trigger.
No. Apparently Brokebutt is, because she's a speed shooter, but that's a whole other thing. Yeah. We also got into we got to play Star Wars Squadrons this week. That was fun.
We did.
I really enjoyed that. That was tremendously fun for me.
I too enjoyed it. I wish we were better at it, but it turns out that it's not all about being good at flying. It's about how long you play and how many upgrades you have.
Yes and no. I mean, yes, and no. The standard ships are all pretty terrible, just flat out. Yes, they are. But I also think the ship battle, not just like the straight dogfighting, but the actual like battle setting is way better than just dogfighting. That's a much better mode in my opinion. Because dogfighting becomes.
I personally liked dogfighting better.
Really?
Yep. I didn't like the going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
I didn't like the dogfighting because it didn't have any back and forth. You joined in, and within about 60 seconds, you knew which side was going to win, without any question about that at all. I'm kind of curious as to whether or not they're going to start adding anything else into it. They keep saying no. I don't believe them. They're EA. They're definitely going to add something else in at some point, or they'll just drop another game, which would also not be bad. But I enjoyed the mechanics of it. I still really want to get a joystick.
Oh yeah, me too. I probably won't for a very, very long.
Fair. Like, I probably won't either. It's like, I want one. I'm just not willing to pay for it. Remember, I'm cheap.
And that's one of your weird
What?
I said that's definitely one of your weird points.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about some of my weird. I probably should have put that in there. Because so here's the thing. I'm only half cheap. Like, I will have things that would make my life better, just like little things along the way that like I'll just do without them. Like, I won't eat out to lunch. I I don't really like coffee, but sometimes it's like I need coffee and I like won't get it because I don't want to pay to get coffee. Um, there's like a bunch.
I have never wanted coffee.
I don't really ever want coffee either, but there are some days where I'm like dragging into work and I'm like, I cannot keep my eyes open and I need something with highly caffeinated, and then I just don't get it and I like walk into walls.
I've never had that problem either.
Yeah, well, that must be
I
nice.
actually haven't had. Well, I want to say I haven't had caffeine. I actually drank a Code Red because I went into work last Monday because I'm going to have to start going into work at least once a week because my coworker is incompetent.
Right.
So I'm going to have to start going in at least once a week. And so I went in last Monday to kind of assess the situation because he was telling higher ups that he was overwhelmed. Turns out it's just that he apparently thought that I went around and had play fun time when I left the office and didn't take him with me. So everything he described to me sounded like the normal everyday things that I used to do when I was there.
Right.
That are now overwhelming him. It's like, because you're actually doing your job now instead of sitting on your butt all day.
Surprise.
But that's a different story, and I digress.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got to start going into work.
Okay.
And so I went in last Monday, and there was a Code Red sitting in the fridge from way back in March.
Right.
And I was thirsty, and I kept forgetting to go get a bottle of water, and I forgot to take water with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, screw it, I'm just going to drink it. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I drank it. No ill side effects. It tasted great. I don't crave it or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I drank it. I moved on.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have not had caffeine in like 3 months. 3 months ago, I drank the last bit of tea that I had that was caffeinated, and then I switched to decaf tea. And so yeah. And before that, I went 3 months drinking straight water.
That's fair. I, at one point, had cut out all caffeine. And I'm still largely caffeine free at this point. I know I'm saying I'm drinking coffee, but by being caffeine free for like 3 weeks, on the day where I really need caffeine, it actually does something. Because back when I was younger, I was drinking ungodly amounts of what's the word in Alabama? Coke. It wasn't Coke. It was I was drinking Mountain Dew.
Soda.
I was drinking
soda.
I was drinking Volt.
I don't say pop.
Hey, I'm from the north. Did you remember Vault?
No, I have no idea what that is.
So Vault was Coke's attempt to get in on the Mountain Dew market. And they pumped up the caffeine.
Coke has Mellow Yellow.
I know, but Mellow Yellow is not as prominently known as Mountain Dew by any stretch of the imagination. Like Mountain Dew is its own thing, and they're trying to capitalize on being a competitor for that, which Mellow Yellow just isn't doing. And so they came up with Vault, and they only sold it for maybe 3 or 4 years. And they pumped the caffeine in it up to 11 so that it was like a legitimate energy drink, but you could buy it in a 2-liter. And at the time it came out, I'm like, oh, it has more caffeine than Mountain Dew. And at that time, it was just the cool thing to drink as much caffeine as possible without any consideration of side effects. And so I would drink a full 2-liter of Vault every day for a long time. This was also when I was almost 300 pounds. So there was some correlation there, you might say. But yeah, that was some stuff. Of course, I was drinking a 2-liter of it every day. I'd drink a lot and go to bed and have no problem falling asleep because caffeine at a certain point, you just can't have any sort of reaction to it. Your body just gets used to it. You need more and more and more to have any sort of effect.
Caffeine has zero effect on me. It never has.
Well, I cannot speak to your experience. All I can say is that for me, when I was drinking a lot of it, it had zero effect. Now it does. So when I need it, it's there. Not a crutch. Actually, no, that's exactly what it is. It is a crutch. Let's be totally clear on that point.
But also, drugs that are supposed to put you to sleep don't really have an effect on me either. So,
my roommate apparently has been having difficulty sleeping, and so he just got some.
Well, he stays up till 3 a.m. talking to his wife.
Yeah, well then he has issues falling asleep after that, which he shouldn't have issues with because it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So, he got some. What's the hormone that they give you? Or it starts with an M?
Serotonin?
No, not serotonin. It starts
melatonin?
With melatonin. Yes, he's got melatonin pills to try and go to sleep now. Which is going to be just wonderful, I'm sure, for everyone involved. Especially me. Yay!
Why do you say that?
Because he does not have a vehicle, and so he goes to my church. Kind of understood that if he lives in the same place as I do, and we go to church, that he's riding with me. He just got these melatonin pills this week, so we've not yet had a Sunday morning where he has to get out of bed to go to church from a melatonin coma, which will be a great experience, I'm sure. Just the best. What are you dug into right now, Masters? Minecraft. What are you building?
A mall.
Okay. Why a mall?
I had the idea to build a mall.
Alrighty. What are you going to sell in your mall?
I'm not going to sell anything. The villagers are going to sell their wares. Each store is going to have a villager, or it's going to have 4 villagers in it of each different type. And then the stores are going to be themed to that type and what they sell and all this other stuff. And then in the back, I'm going to have a large area, kind of like the main store, where all of the librarians are going to be selling their books.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
I have run out of stone.
Catastrophe.
I have not been mining in a very, very long time.
You are hereby your honorary membership to the Sasquatch Digging Society has officially been revoked.
Hey, I started the Sasquatch Digging
That
Society.
That is not true.
Much.
I created the concept.
I was the one that gave it a name.
No, I think that was me too.
No. Fake news.
Prove it.
I can't. We don't have a time machine.
Aha! That's right. We deleted that Discord. But yeah, I absolutely came up with the Sasquatch Digging Society.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Yeah.
You weren't on enough to come up with it.
I was on enough at the beginning. Come up with the name. That's all I'm good for. I'm good for ideas and occasionally digging. And I always make sure I have an egregious excess of stone. Because you just dig. That's all it is.
I think I should have enough to do what I need to do. Yes, 4 of those. And I need wood now. I'm going to go chop down a tree. But yeah, it looks like I need to go digging.
Yay! I love digging.
I'm not gonna do that today.
What's wrong with you? It's kind of weird. So, like I said, I went to the range today, and I broke out my Mosin for the first time, and
Broke out your what?
my Mosin Nagant, 1926 Russian made.
I thought you said Moses.
No.
I was like, you broke out your what? Broke out Moses. You know, you shall not pass. Wait, what?
That's kind of the exact opposite of what happened with Moses, but okay.
I don't know. After he closed the Red Sea.
Oh, okay. Fair. That is a good point. Yeah, as it turns out, that the Mosin Fire is a very stout cartridge. I understand now why they decided to not use that when they made the AK-47. They're like, yeah, we don't actually need anywhere near this much power. It's now I've been around guns my whole life, but this is different. It really lets you know that you have pulled the trigger. And it lets the guy who's 6 lanes down from you know that you pulled the trigger too. It's very loud. A lot of fun though. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Probably too much. People just don't understand the simple, relaxing nature. Probably because it hasn't very little to do with nature unless it's about collecting nature and bringing it home to warm it up. But the simple, relaxing nature of going to the range and shooting firearms. It's the smell of burnt powder, the throbbing pain in your shoulder, the guy.
Because you're weak.
Come to Michigan. We'll go to the range. You can make up your mind.
We're going to Utah.
Yes, we are, but I'm probably not going to bring my Mosin.
Are we? Didn't sound.
I say, but I'm probably
sound very convicted just then.
No, we are going to Utah. Utah, and I'm probably not going to bring my Mosin because it takes up a lot of room, and in the unlikely event that I have to go through Illinois, I'm just not going to go through Illinois. Screw Illinois. I will drive around it and add 3 hours to my travel time just to not have to go through Illinois. Stupid state. At least Ohio's not that stupid. Still pretty stupid, but it's not that stupid. Still probably not going to bring the most in though, because it's really, really big. But I had a lot of fun. I wish we could have stayed there longer, but we were running out of ammunition, so problems.
Yes. That's expensive.
Yeah. 40 cents every time it goes bang.
How does it make you feel that going to the shooting range is going to be more expensive than the whole time at Evermore?
Will it?
Probably.
I mean, not really.
Evermore is only $60
a night.
No, I'm talking about just Evermore. I'm not talking about the hotel.
I know. Evermore is up. They have a weird pricing schedule. It's $25 to $60 per night.
Yes, but the ticket that we are looking at getting is only $35.
Okay. That's still more expensive than your average range trip.
Maybe.
I mean, today's was a little bit above average. We were there for a long time. Like
excuses.
But it was $15 to get in the door, and you could stay as long as you wanted. We did. We still had to deal with it like a couple of idiots. Like one guy, he had this obnoxious 308 bullpup in the lane next to us, and it's a state park with a shooting range on it, and so they have weird rules like, okay, you can't shoot more than one round every 3 seconds. You have to do this, you have to do that, and every like half hour or so they do a 10-minute break where you walk down. Everyone stops shooting. You step away from your gun and you walk down range to get your target and like replace it. Make sure your shots are on sight and everything. Well, the guy that we were with that was in the lane next to us, he didn't abide by that at all. So they call, okay, everyone's time to stop shooting. Okay, put the gun down, step back from the yellow line, get some space, make sure you're not going to do that. Everyone else is looking like they're kind of done. You take your hearing protection off, and it's been like, almost a minute at this point, and all of a sudden you hear this boom, and 308 is also a very stout round. And so you could really hear it very well when he rips off another round after the time is called. And we all just kind of like turn and look at him. And he's like, what? Dude, the kid in lane 7 can't hear anymore. Like, he's going to be deaf for the rest of his life. What's wrong with you? Oh. Lovely people. It's kind of like that shirt. I have a great love for humanity. It's people that I can't stand.
Nope, I don't. Nope. Never seen that shirt.
My sister bought one for me years ago that said, I used to love people until people ruined it. And I'm like, this is totally inaccurate because I never loved people. That's just not my thing. No, not at all. But no, you're not going to talk me into this one. Just stop. I'd also like it if she would just stop trying to buy me t-shirts because I just don't care. Yeah, it's a graphical tee on it. You should be wearing. No. I'm not going to wear your messaging. Leave me alone. I've graduated. I now wear polos and Star Wars shirts.
I don't wear a polo unless I have to.
I like them. Of course, I am a bit of I'm a bit of a pretentious person, so it's like, oh, I like to feel like I'm half dressed up, but I'm totally not.
You are very pretentious.
That was one of my.
How in the world did? Oh, I know how you got up there. Why are you up there? Get down! You're gonna break your neck.
Say we established that was one of my weirdness points, that I'm very theatrical. And at some point, that's not going to go over well with a girl. And I can probably imagine already what the scenario is going to be. Because I've seen it happen from other people who are also fairly theatrical with wives who are not. And it's amazing. And I love it. And I so want to do it. And I just need, like, the wife to do it.
No, stop.
But,
Stop. Go away.
I am trying to talk about a podcast here. You're the one. I'm not going anywhere. Anyway, so have you ever been in like any kind of like a public address setting? Church is usually a good one for this to happen. Any kind of like large business meeting, motivational speakers, they do it a lot. And they get up and they're talking and they're saying, "I'm so glad to hear," but not so glad to hear, but so glad that my lovely wife is here with me today. And then they tell some horrifically inappropriate anecdote about her. And they, you are missing one of life's joys, because as funny as those anecdotes usually are, the expression on the wife's face at that point is so much better. Like, she is not contemplating murder. She is contemplating on where she's going to hide the body. How many pieces she'll chop up the body before she hides it. Whether she's going to dip it in lye first. Because she's like got the process in mind. She's not like, I could kill him for that. No, she's like, okay, he's going to die. And here's what we're going to do with this. And here's what we're going to do with this. And it's the best. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to be able to do that to some poor woman. Again, people, don't introduce me to girls that you have kind affection for, because I'm probably the worst person on earth. Or probably the worst person ever. Yes, there we go. I have to get my terminology correct. Yeah. So that's been my theatricality. Of course, I'm also a heavy introvert, so immediately after doing that, I'm going to want to have nothing to do with her. So I'll just be alone by myself,
No, stupid
happy,
villager.
returning as nature intended. Actually, as God intended. He made man, then he messed it up. No. It's a terrible joke. I kind of like it. Um,
Yes, you come out.
at some point we might have to turn this podcast into a video podcast so people can see the Minecraft villagers not obeying you, masters.
Oh, it's so annoying.
I agree. There is a reason I have never, ever, ever messed with villagers. I haven't even helped intentionally.
You out, out. Go away. Go away. You're. Look, here. Come get this job. I have a job for you. Hey, you fell for it.
You don't seem to be doing very well here.
Okay, I got it. I'm fine. Fine. Villagers suck.
Yes.
So, back to my trumpet story that you so rudely took over.
Didn't realize. Go ahead.
Yes. I was talking about the trumpet, and then you started saying, "Do you have neighbors downstairs?" I have neighbors downstairs. They have a puppy, and then you started talking about the puppy,
Mm-hmm.
and then you went into other things. Um, so I'm thinking about getting it. Well, I'm not thinking about it. I'm going to. I just haven't done it yet because to buy the trumpet and the mute is going to be roughly $300. Um, so I am not wanting to drop $300 right before going to Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll probably be a Christmas gift to myself. Though I have mentioned it to my family, so I would not be surprised if they bought me one for Christmas. Um, so never buy things for Christmas around Christmas time, which my mother doesn't typically get me things like that for Christmas because she knows that I'll just buy it myself. So she buys me things that I would never buy myself.
Right.
Um, one year, we had a foster kid living with us who was an avid skateboarder, and he all the time was doing tricks and whatnot. And I had this little crappy video camera that was more of a webcam than a video camera that I was using to film him, and then I would go back and edit it. And it was, this cool thing that I wish I would have kept doing, but didn't.
Right.
And so that year, she bought me a camcorder for Christmas. Well, before Christmas, she bought it in like June. And before Christmas got here, he went to go live with his grandmother in Michigan, I think, actually. Let me look at a map real quick. Map.
The place that he went to shaped like a mitten.
I know what Michigan looks like.
Just asking.
It's more of an area. Yes, Michigan is exactly where he went to. No. Indiana. It was Indiana. It wasn't Michigan. He moved to Indiana with his grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
So my inspiration for wanting to film things was no longer living with us, so I never touched that camera. I think I might have used it once or twice for like Christmas. I think the Christmas next year they had me film it for home videos.
Right.
But I don't think I ever touched it ever again after that. So she stopped buying me Christmas presents in June.
Okay.
Anyways, trumpet. I'm want to buy a trumpet. Because I've been missing playing it for a while now. and so I've been wanting to play it. One of my nephews actually plays the trumpet now in his high school, middle school. I don't know what grade he's in his band.
Right.
He's a new nephew, so I don't know how old he is. Um, and so he's playing trumpet, and so I played it a little bit when he brought it to me to show him how to clean it. Last year, and I was just like, then I was just like, oh, I miss playing trumpet. But now it's like I have this overwhelming urge to play a trumpet, and I don't have one, so I need to get one so I can play it. And then I also uh, have recently made because I've been trying to figure out what I want to do in life for quite a while now. Most of that time has been spent wasting money in school.
Yep.
Hold on a second. I had to cough.
Okay.
And so I've been trying to figure out what it is, and talking to Brokebutt last week about things that make me happy. I was, I was trying to show her that things do actually make me happy, and so I was trying to make this list for her, and I've shared now with you. And I was thinking, what part of these things that I like could make me money, because I'm otherwise just going to stay in this job that I don't really hate, but I don't really care for the rest of my life. And I'm not sure if I would go crazy doing that. So, but one thing that I've wanted to do for a long time is to go and work at Disney.
Right.
I originally wanted to do that as an engineer. I am not good enough to be an engineer.
Yeah.
I'm probably smart enough, but I don't want to do it. It's not something that drives me. So I've steered away from that. So I'm thinking now that I just want to go. Well, first of all, I have all this debt I got to pay off.
Yep.
So I'm going to stay at this stupid job until I pay off all of my debt.
Gotcha.
Which is going to take a while.
Understandable. Yes.
In the office, maybe I won't have any debt to worry about. That's a different story. That will get Gavi on a nice long rant, so we'll skip over that. And so once I get that paid off, I think I'm just going to sell everything that I don't absolutely need and just move to Florida and work for Disney doing whatever the heck they want me to do. I don't care what it is. And then just go to auditions every time that they're available and try and either become an actor on a stage, or maybe if I practice my trumpet enough, I could play in one of their orchestras or something like that. Play in one of their bands. But, just go and work at Disney. That's all I want to do in life.
I didn't know that you wanted to work on or be a stage actor.
I would love to be a stage actor.
Interesting. Huh.
But yeah, so that's my new current plan, is to pay off all of my debt, move to Disney, doing whatever the heck they want me to do. And also I was getting a lot of inspiration from watching the A Day in the Life at Disney.
Yeah.
On Disney Plus, and there's actually a couple of jobs down there right now that I would probably qualify for, but I don't know how much I would make, and so that's one of the reasons I want to pay off my debt first, because I kind of need that. So, but once I get rid of all of my debt, my bills basically become nothing. So it would be very easy to go down there and take a minimum wage job and work my way up. And like I said, auditioning every chance I get. Because remember the Frozen Ever After show where the two people came on stage and they were like the narrators of the story.
Yeah.
I would love to be one of those people up there. That would be fun. Or I'm not blonde enough or have enough hair to be Kristoff, so I couldn't do that.
No, you couldn't do that.
But to be something like that would be a lot of fun.
Maybe they'd let you be the Mad Hatter.
Hey, maybe.
I don't actually know if they have a Mad Hatter who walks around or anything like that. So
they don't.
Oh, that's a shame.
They do occasionally. He's in parades and stuff too. But he's one of those characters that doesn't come out often.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It would be a lot of figuring things out once I got down there. But I am totally willing and wanting to do it. So,
just thought of something. You could get a job as a character in Galaxy's Edge, and they could let you play Watto.
Watto?
Yeah, from episode 1, the blue Tidarian, the guy who owned Anakin.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why does that come to mind?
I don't know. It just does. Just somehow. Maybe it's the head. But
what are you trying to say?
Then you're bald. That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I could totally learn to puppeteer. That would be fun too.
Oh, that would. Get a job for the Jim Henson Company.
Yes, Jim Henson. Ooh, what if I could be? Well, I'm not tall enough to be.
Sweetums.
Sweetums. Yeah.
You could be Mean Carl.
Mean Carl's the one that eats things, right?
Yes.
You over there. I see that you have the coat. Come and claim your job.
And then he gets distracted by villagers. And he wonders why I took over his conversation point.
He listened. So yeah, but yeah, that's my new current plan in life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a 10-year plan at this point. Hopefully sooner, but paying off my debt is going to be a big portion of this time.
Mm-hmm. As it probably should. You know what? I'm going to be honest. In 10 years, they might be looking for a Kermit replacement, and you would probably be better than the guy they got right now.
Oh, gee, thanks. That was not good. I should warm this up before you start talking.
That was still better than the other guy. Oh man. Like, so that was
There's
another...
so many songs about rainbows. And what's on the other side?
Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide.
So my brain immediately went, that is not Kermit the Frog. Then I wait, no, that's Miss Piggy.
It's a duet, so I mean, I figured I'd pick up the other side.
Your Miss Piggy is getting better and better.
That's really
kind of scary.
It's scary because I don't do any good Frank Oz voices, but apparently that one's in my range somehow. I don't even try Yoda anymore. My Yoda is that bad. It's awful. Yeah.
That's about as good as I get on Yoda.
Like yours is officially better than mine.
Yoda! You seek Yoda! That's all I got.
Yes, that's pretty bad. I'm gonna be honest, but
yeah, it's not good. I never claim it to be good. The only thing that I claim to be good is Stitch, Kermit, and Shaggy.
You do a pretty decent Sam Eagle.
That was completely on accident. I have not been able to do it since.
That's usually how it goes. You have to figure out what you did first, and then you're like, oh yeah, I guess I could.
America. No, that wasn't.
That was not it.
America. No.
No.
I don't know. I just need to listen to a compilation of Sam Eagle and try and do it that way.
It's usually how it goes. I mean, that's how I was doing the voice acting monologues way back a couple years ago. I just listened to the same thing over again. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Mixed results. It was fun though because I just have. You ever talk to yourself, Masters?
All the time.
Yeah, just driving along in the car. I'll just be talking to myself or singing or something like that, and all of a sudden,
my thing is I explain things to myself.
Uh-huh.
Like I'll have an idea, and then I'll say it out loud and explain it to myself, and then I occasionally go, "Well, of course, I was the one that came up with that. I know this information. Why are you telling it to me?"
Yeah, I just default into learned monologues, like I do the Joker's eulogy for Batman a lot. Like 3 times a week, I'm just driving in the car and like, dear friends, today is the day the clown cried, and it comes out and it happens. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm weird. That's probably another. I should probably mark does voices on my weirdness points.
That's yeah, you're doing this all wrong.
like weirdness points. Does voices? Does
if you try to find a woman to take you as you are, but you change how you are to get them to take you, that's not going to end well.
Yes, this is exactly the point. I'm not saying that. Here's the thing: you're allowed to have a certain number of weirdness points, but the number of weirdness points it varies, and it's different for everybody, and for everybody that everybody could be with at some point. Now, there are things that help you have more weirdness points, like you can be good looking, but.
Well,
last time I sent my picture to somebody.
That's never gonna get old.
No, that has legitimately been an issue before, though. My first, at least semi-serious girlfriend, we did great online, talking back and forth, had great phone conversations, hours long, everything that you're supposed to have as a kid in the early thousands. Just meeting the girl for the first time. All my relationships are online. I don't know what the problem is with that. Every single relationship I've ever had has been either online, overseas, long distance, or we just never see each other. Because when we do see each other, they're like, "Oh, that's what's been talking to me." He wasn't kidding about the Sasquatch thing, was he? Ha! There's no way.
Yeah, that's on them.
Not
gonna lie.
There's this great move. Okay. It's a tough movie to get through sometimes, but I mean I really enjoy it for again all the wrong reasons. Ricky Gervais, Jennifer Garner. It's called The Invention of Lying, and it's a movie about a society of people who have no concept of what lying is. So a guy like overdraws his account and does all this kind of stuff, and he like walks into the bank and he like discovers that he can lie because he knows all this stuff happened, and they tell him, "Oh no, your account is overdrawn," and this, that, and the other, and he's like, "Is it at all possible that there was a mistake?" And like, "Oh, you don't think you did it?" He goes, "No," like very questioning, like totally unconvinced, and like, "Oh well, it must be a problem with our system then." "Yes, sir, right away. Here's all your money." And like he discovers, "Oh, I don't have to tell the truth." Well, this turns into, because Ricky Gervais is like this super high level atheist, he turns the movie into like accidentally inventing God, or inventing the concept of God in the afterlife and things like that, because his mother is dying and he wants her to feel comfort as she goes into the hereafter, and so he invents this idea of heaven, and then because people overheard him, they all come to him as like some sort of prophet. But that's not the point. The point is, Jennifer, I told you because you're clearly not going to go watch the movie.
Nope.
Neither here nor there. Anyway, so Jennifer Garner is someone who he has decided he really, really likes, and he starts lying to her about a number of things. Probably his most egregious one. I don't know if this one was. I don't remember if this one was her or somebody else. But he's just like walking down the street, and he sees this attractive girl, and he says, "If you don't sleep with me right now, the world is going to end." And she says, "Do we have time to get off the street?" And he's like, Yeah, that should be fine. like exactly what would happen if this were like a real the writing on it is so good.
Do we have time to get off the tree? Oh my goodness!
Like, you can't imagine how. Yeah. Anyway, it comes to a point where he's like finally succeeded in wooing the girl, or he kind of has like she loves him, he loves her kind of thing, and but because it's pure truth all the time, everything is reduced down to the completely practical, and she looks at him, and she says, well, if we get married and we have children, then they're going to be short little fat kids with stubby noses. And he goes, yes, they are. And she goes, oh, okay. And she just like walks away. And like, that's like this big heart. We're supposed to, it's the big emotional pull there. And eventually she comes back and she's like, I decided that I do want, short, pudgy kids with stubby noses. And it's like, okay. And he's like, I'm more than happy to oblige. Yeah, it's an interesting movie. I recommend it for, again, all the wrong reasons. But the concept that's brought out there is like there does come a point where like physical attraction doesn't really matter. But I've never probably gotten to that point. Probably.
Yeah, I've said for pretty much my entire life that personality is number one thing I look for in a girl.
Mm-hmm.
If she doesn't have the right personality, there's no way she could be pretty enough to outweigh her personality.
100% true.
And so that's the first thing I look for. But then on the other hand, I don't want to wake up to a woman every single day for the rest of my life and go, oh, sorry, good morning, honey.
Oh yeah, like that's that's a thing too.
To put it bluntly.
I mean, well, if my school rant didn't get us kicked off YouTube, this one's going to. Here we go. Brace yourselves. So, we've been talking last couple of weeks about this marriage Bible study that I have to be a part of because my pastor says so, despite the fact that I'm not married, and despite the fact that I've been sitting through. I mean, I don't really care. I have been sitting through marriage Bible studies since I was 14 years old, and there was nobody else to run the slideshow at church. They're like, "Hey, you can run it," and I'm like, "Are you sure I should be in this one?" And they're like, "It'll be fine." Okay. Which button do I press again? That one. Okay. Oh, is this one? Yep, that's good. Just when I tell you to. Okay. And off I went. They started talking about a whole bunch of things they probably shouldn't have been talking about in front of a 14-year-old boy. But I'm not going to say it gave me ideas.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with you after that circumstance.
Clearly not. I was trying to think of something like really funny I could do there, but all of my like physical gags require a camera. And I'm not turning mine on. So, here we are. Anyway, so yeah, I have been thoroughly immersed in the idea of marriage and family and how to have a strong, healthy relationship with your wife and all this beautiful stuff like that there. But it's a whole different thing when like you're of age and it's a thing that's entirely dedicated to that, and everybody else in the room is married and you have no other legitimate reason to be there other than, yeah, I'm here. Um, anyway, anyway.
Other than your pastor told you to be.
Yeah, well, and there's a lot to be said for listening to what your pastor tells you. Um, I'm going to be logically consistent on that one, based on conversations I've had in the past couple of weeks. And like I said, it's not that there's nothing to learn there. A lot to learn. But one of the things that they've been talking about in this one is that although some men may try to talk about how, oh, it doesn't matter at all what she looks like, as long as she has a true inner beauty on the inside. I would say ladies, but right now we only have one who kind of halfway listens to this podcast, so broke butt. Just gonna be honest. Hear somebody say that. It's a lie. It's a lie. Lying to you. Yeah, it's just not true. Guys are very visually oriented. It's a thing. Just part of how we're made. It's not particularly pleasant to talk about. Not something we generally acknowledge. But I'm to the point now where I don't care, so I'll just say it. Yeah, we're very visually oriented.
I've always been like that, so the not caring part.
Yeah, I got you. See, my difficulty is I don't care, but I'm told that I should. And so I try to balance that where I was like, okay, how do you tell someone that they're being ridiculous, stupid, an idiot, unreasonable, irrational, any of those, without offending them? I haven't found that mix yet. So quite often I'll just say it doubly wrong by trying to cover it up. It'd probably come off a lot less offensive if I'd just been like, yeah, you're stupid, and just gone with my day. But I'm told that I shouldn't do that, and as I'm trying to be in full-time ministry, you're supposed to not be alienating people, and so I try to hem and haw around it, and it doesn't go very well. Yep, that's about how it goes. Anyway, so yeah, I 100% guys are very visually oriented. We not only, but it's a consideration. It's like in the top 5. Actually, let's see if I can get the top 5 for guys by memory. Number 1 is sex. Number 2 is fun. Like, is she fun to be around? Does she have fun things? Does she engage in some same fun activities with me? Kind of thing. Number 3 is domestic support. 4, I believe, is physical attractiveness. And number 5 is definitely something. But I don't remember what it is. The first 4 should pretty much get the point across. Everything that women complain about guys only wanting out of a woman, they are half correct. It's not that they only want those things out of a woman, it's just that they want those things first. And then they'll be willing.
That's not always true.
For the most part, it is. This is a broad generalization. This is not talking about let's find a name that would not be offensive. This is not talking about Floyd Filbert or whatever, I don't know. Filbert Floyd. This is not talking about Filbert Floyd, who lives in some far off nation and has achieved some sort of sainthood and is like, I don't need to have this, I'm content with these things. Exception. The general rule applies. Most, like 95% of guys are going to be like, sex, and then is she fun? By domestic support, is she good to look at? Generally how they're going to order their priorities.
sex is definitely not.
Have you ever played?
It was before I got married the first time.
Have you ever played a Monk Masters?
A monk.
Hmm?
In D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do it again.
I don't understand.
It's a joke about having sex as a
joke. I don't understand the joke.
Because monks typically have like a vow of celibacy kind of thing.
Well, I'm content with never having sex again in my life.
A monk.
I live a monk. Very, very unfit monk.
Not all. See, monks are. You're thinking of like Shaolin monks. I'm thinking of like 13th century German monks who were just alone and angry on a mountain who took a vow of silence so they would stop arguing with each other. That's, which I think is really what the whole vow of silence thing was about back then. They're like, I cannot be in a room with this guy if he's going to open his mouth. We all need to take a vow of silence so I don't ever have to hear his stupid voice or his stupid opinions ever again in my life. That seems accurate, fair, right? Human nature. It's what we all have to deal with. Despite some of the negative topics I've been on today and the negative salty benders, like I'm actually in a spectacularly good mood right now. Like I can't go to a range and shoot my guns and then bring them home and get to clean them. And I like cleaning my guns. I don't know why. It's just it fills me with joy. So I can't do those things in a day and then just like not be on an emotional high for several hours afterward. It's just, it's relaxing, it's refreshing, it's just good for the soul. Send hot lead down range at 2,700 feet per second. It's freeing. Yes, there's definitely something wrong with me.
We know, we're trying to work through it.
Are you though? Or are you capitalizing on it?
I haven't determined yet.
See?
Haven't determined if there's anything worth capitalizing on.
Well, considering the fact that you haven't probably made any money off of knowing me. Known me for a while now. Looks like it may not be profitable.
Oh, I never suspected profit.
Well, let's see here. We got Muppets in. We got D&D in. We talked about relationships. We talked about Gavi saying people shouldn't go to college. We talked about warning signs. No, not warning signs. Weirdness points. Talked about guns, which I'm very happy about. Talked sporadically about Minecraft and dealing with villagers. That's a profitable endeavor. Talked about beaver hats. Socially offensive face masks. Who is famous that Masters looks like? Friendly's cat. Anything else on the agenda, Masters?
I have nothing left.
Okay. Well then, I think we can start wrapping this one up here. Looks like we're going back to our original ending time of 2 hours and 22 minutes, because I'm sure I'll have at least a 3-minute outro. That's just how it's going to go. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate you stepping in to our weird little area here. If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider subscribing, sharing with your friends. In fact, sharing with your friends, well, I mean, depending on what platform you're on, subscribing is also very important. But on YouTube, it's probably a little bit less important than it might be otherwise. Wherever else this is that you're listening to it, subscribe. Tell your friends about it. That is probably the best way that you can help us out if you want to hear more of this. The more people who hear about this, the more people we're going to have watching, the more we might be able to get masters to care about doing it. Probably not, though. Anyway.
I'm a master of not caring. What can I say?
Bravo. Really, bravo on that one. I appreciated it. It's beautiful. Really. Beautiful. So, if you have anything that you would like us to discuss on the podcast, feel free to join the Discord. You can do that also, so you can see all the weird stuff that we talk about, the visual representations of it anyway, because some things are not necessarily clear as through the visual medium, or the auditory medium. And some things are just thrown in there which are not explained in the auditory one, so that could also be fun. So just make sure you get the clearest picture possible. But there is also a podcast topic thread, which I do monitor in case you would like to submit something. I will most of the time try and get those in there. I think there's one I haven't done yet, but that's okay. Someday. Anyway, do make sure you tune in again next week. We don't know what we're going to talk about because we never do. No planning. Minimum effort.
Maximum minimum effort.
Sasquatch, please stop putting so much enthusiasm into your expectation. You are going to be disappointed.
Sasquatch can't be disappointed. We've tried.
I would say I don't have the energy, but that's kind of the point. Anyway, let's wrap things up. Thank you all again for watching. We do appreciate you, Sass and Friendly and Brokebutt, our 3 viewers, and anyone else who happens to walk in. You're appreciated as well. We just don't know who you are. And we promise not to read off your names interminably if we become famous on the internet. Anyway, we will see you all next time.
We promise to do that if that's what you're into.
Fair. Yes. That. Anyway, see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.